Welcome to Through the Smoke, episode number 6.
Getting on now.
Exactly.
Almost 10.
almost. With myself, Athila Roos.
Shane McBagley.
Ooh, Paul Sugden.
And, well, Shane, you've just come back from, maybe with a slightly sore head, from Mabon.
Yeah. It's a really cool festival put on by these fantastic chefs, Sam and Shauna. They used to own a restaurant in Berry Island called Hangfire Barbecue. And it was voted like one of the, I think, top 10 restaurants in the UK when it was open. They closed it shortly after COVID. And they focus mostly on, like, they do lots of barbecue tours and events and stuff, but this is their own festival. And Mabon is Welsh for the autumn equinox, so it's like essentially a harvest festival. Nice. But the best bit was, it was almost like a family reunion of all the other festivals I've been to over the summer. Like, all my favorite people were cooking there. Sam, she was doing these tasting menus, all cooked over live fire. So my wife Maisie and I were helping her in the kitchen there. We also did a demo on Sunday. Maisie was doing a talk on school meals and feeding and educating the next generation on food. And it was just, great weekend. Did drink a fair bit. Yes. Also,
a bottle disappeared inside you, I heard.
More than one. And they also had fire walking.
Okay.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, they would have this massive bonfire, rake out the coals, and then you could walk across it. But more so than that, the way they make sure you have the cojones to do it is they hold an arrow to your throat, the blade end, and you have to walk into it until it snaps, and it's like the softest bit of your throat. And right when it feels like the arrowhead is about to puncture your throat, it snaps, and then you're good to go on do the fire walk. The first time I was like, that wasn't bad at all, like, I'll do that again. And I got a bit cocky and was walking across the coals really slowly, and all of them like stuck to the bottom of my foot, and I got loads of blisters and stuff that time. But and that was the Saturday, so we still had a whole nother day to walk around on swollen blisters. But it was a really good festival, and I've heard they're planning on doing it again next year. And for me, like, the coolest bit, like, I love barbecue festivals anyway, but this one's inside the castle grounds of Caldecott Castle, and they just have like all these cool lights and fire bowls with smoke everywhere. It's just like
brilliant,
a real cool, almost Lord of the Rings like setting for barbecue festival. Absolutely loved it. Paul, you were supposed to come, but
I was. I'm very sorry.
Lame sporting event.
Yeah, unfortunately, these chaps that run this thing called the Ryder Cup.
Never heard of it.
People, fine. Apparently they put it on every 2 years, and they just chose the same weekend. So I was a bit disappointed to miss out on that.
That was poor planning on their part.
I know. It's almost like they should have read my schedule.
Should tell them off.
Yeah. We thought he had it in the bag on Saturday. Yesterday was quite tense. So lots of drinking got done last night. So
Hilarious.
All came down to the last couple of matches. So.
And you said, the Europeans won.
Retained it. We didn't really win in the end.
Retained it.
Went in about with 7-point lead or something like that, and then all came down to the last 3 matches on the second day. So it was quite tense. It was a lot of fun. Turns normal people into hooligans. There was
a lot of people at the hotel we were staying at, and it looked like a football riot going on, but it was obviously a lot older boys in their funny golf get-ups, getting really riley at the bar.
We were contained in a house, so it was fine. We weren't allowed out in public.
I think that should apply to all of us. We should not be allowed in public most days. Hilarious. Well, I have had a lovely, fun tasting in the shop, which Paul, you have attended. So it was the first time that I've held a official blind whiskey tasting event. I called it Eyes Wide Shut. Everyone was wearing clothes and no one was wearing masks, unlike the film. Would have been fun, but no. And one of my guests is this lady called Charlie, who runs a pottery nearby called Little Earthquake Pottery. And she's designing for me the equivalent of Glencairn glasses, but made out of ceramic.
You showed me these last time I was in the shop. They're really cool.
So on top of doing the blind tasting, so I pre-poured all of the whiskies before people arrived, so they didn't know what was being poured. And the idea is that you judge the liquid for what it is, for what's in the glass, with no preconception of, this beautiful bottle or this Macallan or whatever name distillery that immediately make you think or expect certain things out of the whiskey. You don't have any of that.
Even the ceramic glass, you can't even see what color it is.
This tasting was done with the regular Glencairn glass, but I had, because she's developed a prototype or 5 prototypes, I also pre-poured the same whiskey into 5 of those ceramic glasses, plus the Glencairn. And at the end of the tasting, we passed those around, and I got everyone to then have some nosing of the whiskey, and we can then decide which of the glasses or which of the cups was showing better the aromatics and bringing out the whiskey more. And that's the one we're going to develop further, so we can actually then have officially in the shop in the Holy Spirits the ceramic cups being sold. But then on the next whiskey tasting, which will be a blind tasting, it will be then her ceramic cups. Cool. And on the inside, she's going to try and work out. There is, I forgot the name of the technique, but there is a Japanese coating technique of the ceramic, which basically make them look black on the inside, and that's the one she's going to apply to it. So you're not going to be able to prejudge by the color either. So it will be fully a blind tasting when we will do the next session of it. So it should be fun.
Nice.
It was amazing how the difference in shape made the difference in smell. It was crazy. So you went down across the 6 cups, you tried them all, or smelled them all, and 2 of them I think were clearly, obviously slightly bigger, a bit more shaped like a proper Glencairn glass, but you completely different smell from them.
I believe it. Like when you gave me my first set of Glencairns, it versus the tumblers I'd normally drunk it out of, it doesn't even taste like the same whiskey sometimes. You get so much more of the nose on it than
partially the idea behind this, well, not unlike these little cups, is that you've got something that is a bit tulip shaped.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit wider at the bottom, so you give more space for the whiskey to breathe, and there is a little bit of evaporation that is we don't see with our naked eyes, but it's there, and that brings out the aromatics. And if you have a regular tumbler, there is nowhere for those aromatics to be trapped. So they basically just go away. And once you go into smell, you only smell part of those aromatics that are coming up. And if you get something like a wine glass, a Glencairn glass, a tulip-shaped something, basically all of those aromatics go into one center point. So exactly, they funnel into the where you nose, and then once you smell, you get much more of those aromatics coming up. So it's a little bit of science, but it's clever and it makes perfect sense. And
funny how such a little tiny design that before I probably would have shied away from these glasses, thinking they look a little bit too poncy, but it makes all the difference. Like they're really, really cool.
Well, shall we get into some liquid entertainment as well? Actually, perhaps very quick break, and we'll come back in a second, guys. Well, guys, we're back, and we forgot to mention that we are outside, as you can probably see. And the ones that are not seeing, I don't know if you can hear the occasional works on the house next door or the birds singing around, but we are on the terrace of the Black Horse in Amberley, where you have the best views of the valley and the best
also
sunset.
The best whiskey bar this side of Hadrians Wall, isn't it?
I'd like to think so, yeah. Eclectic collection.
Exactly. So if you haven't been to the Black Horse yet, you should come here, because there are over 100 whiskies behind the bar. And when we say over 100 whiskies behind the bar, it's not just over 100 whiskies that you'd find in the supermarket, but actually the stuff that you wouldn't. We are going to taste a couple of fun toys now, but I'm talking about Springbank Local Barley, Brookladdy 30-year-old from 1988, single cask releases, distiller exclusives, you name it. If you want whiskey porn, this is the place to come. Plus the best sunset from the valley as well.
We've also got a really good garden for the kids to play in. So you can disappear inside and leave the kids to play on a tricycle.
The kids can go feral whilst you drink your way out.
Although not at the moment, because my garden has been absolutely destroyed by the summer and children. So it's coming back. It'll be back ready for next year. Bigger and
Don't
better.
blame the children, just the drunken adults.
Actually, funnily enough, most of the damage was done by a walking group who decided to turn up in March when it was still wet. They destroyed like a massive part of the garden.
They're just walking around in circles the whole time. What were they doing?
The ground was so wet, and they were just milling. And when you mill like with people, and it was, and they just trod in the mud, and the mud. It was really bad timing because that happened, and then 2 weeks later it was dry for 5 months.
Yeah.
So they killed the pit. It didn't get time to recover. So it's almost like we have a massive patio 2 meters away from where they were standing. Could have stood on that. That would have been fine. But hey, part of being a pub business, you can't control everything or nothing.
Exactly. Well, shall we get into our first liquid entertainment?
Yeah, so what have we got here?
So this is the Kilhoman Saneg, or I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly.
Saneg.
Saneg, yeah.
Oh.
It's their standard release of their basically heavy sherried finish. And it is fantastic value for money.
Yeah.
We were chatting earlier and I was saying, look, it's all well and good picking up things like the Waterford or Octomore or the 30-year-old Brookladdy, that's fine. But finding something in the sort of 50 to 60 pound range that is such a big hitter and happy to drink every day and happy to show people, it's actually quite hard, especially if you're kind of a bit of a whiskey nerd, because you want those big flavours, you want cask strength stuff, you want this, that and the other. And I think this fulfills an absolute phenomenal flavour profile for about £56.
Yeah, the sherry and the peat on the nose straight away is really prominent.
Yeah. So my old favourite was the Port Charlotte 10. That was my standard bottling of sort of
the go-to.
And we tried this and I blind tasted this with the chef here, Pav, and he thought this was the Port Charlotte 10.
Really?
And when you put them back to back, this actually makes the Port Charlotte 10 a little bit smaller than you think it is.
Really?
It's fantastic.
I consider that like one of the punchiest ones on my shelf, actually.
Yeah.
The Port Charlotte 10.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to have an extra bottle there.
Yeah.
I just had a sip and it's glorious. I have to say the long way that the liquid from Kilhoman has come over time. And I remember tasting the very first Kilhoman and they were lovely, but they were young and spirity and angry, and like a lot of young distilleries, of course you have to begin with what you've got. Now there is enough aged, lovely, amazing liquid that they can play with, and the quality of the stuff that is coming out from Kilhoman is amazing. We were very lucky. We visited Kilhoman last September last year, and I went there with fairly low expectations because, again, of my experience with much younger Kilhomans, and it took me a while to go back to them. And Paul was always advocating for them.
Yeah.
And I came out from there very surprised on how far they had come. The quality of the stuff that was being made is superb. I love their 100% Islay release. And when we were visiting the island after the tour at the distillery, they had a single cask Marsala edition, which was distiller exclusive. So I got bottles, drove to Makir Bay, which is nicknamed Kilhoman Beach, which is just a mile down the road from the distillery. And we had the saltiest yet sweetest, most delicious dram being battered by winds, just us on the beach.
Is it half salt water in the glass?
Wow, there was a lot of the salt there. It was the winds were going crazy, and by the time that we were leaving the beach, we were being battered by hail and everything else. It was hilarious.
It was really, really cool.
It was apocalyptic. It was crazy. Like, you just kind of went out there, and it was like a lovely sunset and sort of grey clouds and stuff. And in about 15 minutes, it went from that to this dark purple, just like storm coming straight at you. It was crazy.
And we're running, being chased and attacked by hail. It was hilarious.
When we got back to the car, just one side of us was soaked. So the bit when we were running back to the car, the back was soaked. The rain was just hitting you so hard. It's crazy.
But it was worth it. Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. So here's to Kilhoman.
It's a good drop.
I love that it's again, you've got that leathery, meaty savoriness that you get from good quality sherry casking here. I suspect the vast majority, if not all of it, will be Oloroso. But you've got this lovely sweetness, chocolate, Christmas cake sort of thing. And there's just a little bit of salty.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of a salty, almost... When I first tasted it, there's like a little bit of a kind of grassy taste to it. But the sherry cask kind of comes in after that.
Like a
takes
hay
over.
type of grassy thing,
It's why I enjoy it so much, because it's definitely like a whiskey of two halves. It's showing its youth at the beginning, and then you get the quality of their cask coming through so strong in the flavour profile at the end. Like kind of like salty, sweet.
I almost feel it's like three different flavour profiles that come in succession with it. It's
And then at the end, you get this lovely, just gentle smoke, just like staying on the lips with a bit of the sweetness still there. It's great.
Well, considering that we are turning into autumn, although we're having yesterday and today are
Yeah, it's like
amazing,
summer.
glorious,
Right.
sunny last little burst of heat before we cuddle up for until April when the weather gets nicer again. As the turn of the weather cries for this sort of slightly warmer, little bit of heat type of whiskey that just hugs you.
Yeah.
This does that job beautifully. Yeah. Well done.
Good
Thank you.
choice.
Yeah,
Bob.
thank you. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot to do with it.
And if you join us in a second, Shane will quickly go out and get us brisket that has
Yeah.
been preparing for us. Cheers.
Be back in a sec.
Thank you. Right, well, so Shane's just disappeared to go and get the brisket, which sounds fantastic. So we'll see when that comes back out. So we thought we'd have a quick look at the whiskey we have at the Black Horse. We have over 100 whiskies now, and this is kind of the main shelf. It's new, it's very shiny. We kind of have stuff from all over, really, fairly eclectic range. I try and pick stuff that you can't get in the supermarkets, or maybe someone will try something new they haven't had before. So we've got stuff from Speyside. We go into all the Islay stuff, Islands, Campbelltown. And as you move down, we've got some blends, and we get some grain spirits as well. And at the bottom shelf at the moment, we've got the
American kit.
American bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, always surprised that doesn't sell better, but once you get people into bourbon, they do.
You go to the US fairly often as well, and
Yeah.
whenever you do, you end up bringing back some toys. So,
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. We've got quite a few other bits and pieces. All of our big hitters are at the top, the expensive ones. But biggest thing is range of price. So cheaper stuff, more expensive stuff, and just trying to give. Hopefully, if you come, you can get a pretty good idea about the whole world of whiskey, and not just the stuff you might have had before. Like it's not just another Lefroy, or it's not just another Macallan.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to you guys, pretty amazing selection in a pub. Not just over 100 whiskies behind the bar. You've got your own whiskey list, and you're talking about some pretty amazing, crazy bottles in here, and some stuff that should fetch a lot more. Look, you can buy 16 quid for a Hazelburn 21-year-old. How much is, so there is a Brooklady 30-year-old from 1988. How much is that?
That is the most expensive one. I think that's £28 a shot.
A bottle of this. On release, it was what, 800 quid or something like that. So 30 quid for a shot, it's nothing.
I saw somewhere else with it, and it was about £90 a shot,
Oh, there you go.
which I thought
I know
was
which pub
madness.
I'm going to. Brilliant. Well, thank you. Shall we go back to get
Yeah,
some
let's go and
brisket?
see what the brisket's doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. So I went and fetched the brisket from the kitchen where Chef Dave was looking after it for me. It is a little bit of a leftover from this weekend at the barbecue festival. But yeah, I figured it would be good with any peated whiskey that we have today.
For
So
those that are seeing this on the video, look at the size of this baby.
yeah, you got
It's a
about.
beast.
It was a 6.5 kilos when before it was cooked. Yeah, just cooked very simply over cherry and oak I did it hot and fast. So I had my grill set up at 160 degrees, cook it 2 hours one side, flip it over, 2 hours the other side, and then wrap it in butcher's paper with a little bit of tallow and cook it until it has an internal temperature of about 98 degrees, 97 degrees, and leave it to rest. So
if you've cooked for 2 hours already, won't it have reached?
no.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big old dense bit of meat. They definitely cook for a long time. It's only 160 degrees. You have it quite a distance away from the coals.
Okay. Yeah.
And because you're doing it hot and fast, you want to hit it with as much as smoke as you can early on, because generally a hot and fast brisket isn't going to taste as smoky or build up the same level of smoke ring that a traditional low and slow brisket would. But I always find the texture's there and it still has a fair bit of smoke on it. And normally when we do these, I always like to make my sauce, but it was a little bit rushed getting back from the festival today, so I brought my boy Tubby Tom. He does a cherry bourbon barbecue sauce that I've brought to have with it today. So let's go ahead and slice this up, and we can start tucking into it.
Yeah, bring
I
it
don't think I've ever had a Tubby Tom that I haven't been happy with.
Oh,
The
there you go.
sauces are
So
great.
still quite juicy. Yeah.
Actually, shall we? Might as well do this. So, what's his Tom? That's his name, I suppose.
Yeah, Thomas Hughes is his actual name,
Thomas
but
Hughes.
everybody knows him as Tubby Tom. Even his wife calls him Tubby.
There you go. So, Tabby, we will be watching this at one stage.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the podcast. We should do a barbecue heavy
We should
episode
actually
with him.
we should do like a chili tasting one. Do a chili pairing with some whiskeys. That would be a cool one.
Oh yeah, that'd
Okay,
be fun.
is that a chili challenge stuff
Yeah.
that we're going to start sweating out of our heads?
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys want to, we're doing it dirty style. We don't have any plates or cutlery today. Get in there and use your
We
fingers.
don't need to.
I'm just gonna
Give me.
Yes, please.
Oh, no sauce. Yeah.
grab a smidge of
Sauce it
sauce.
So what did you rub the brisket in before you?
Just salt and pepper on this one.
Yeah.
Just put it in there and then we
Yeah.
can dab it into it.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Oh, look at that.
Well, for those that
Wow.
are not watching and just listening to, we've got the most beautiful, huge piece of brisket. Pretty amazing day out
That
here. The
is.
Black Horse and
Still pretty good.
Tabby Tom sauce. Thank you.
That's amazing. That's been sat around for a couple of days, and well, I mean, not in the fridge, but
Yeah.
I didn't used to like Mondays. That's
I'm gonna go
changing
for another slice.
drastically. Wow.
Ben, get over here. You want some?
Onto the cameraman. Camera Ben.
so do you know how long it took to finish in the end?
This one was almost bang on 5.5 hours.
Was it nice? That's fast.
This
that.
is glorious.
Yeah. Take that piece then.
And yeah, the whole thing with, like I said, cooking it hot and fast, you don't get massive smoke ring. The smoke is a little bit more muted on it, but you still definitely get some smokiness in there.
The whole of the outside is smoky enough. Inside is super juicy and tender. Delicious.
Would you spritz it or anything to keep?
Yeah, I always
smoke
spritz with vinegar because smoke is basically like a vapor version of an acid. And if you can help it bind to a liquid one with a spritz, it helps that smoke permeate in a little bit better.
Nice.
This is pretty delicious too.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, that's tasty.
I haven't had breakfast yet, so this is going down like a fat kid on a seesaw.
Just helping the hangover no end. Always feel cheerful again.
Yeah, there you go. How to recover from a hangover. Get a 6 kilo slab of brisket and get some whiskey. And well, speaking of whiskey, dram number 2 of today. It is. It's delicious to be tasting, but it's to a point. It's a very sad moment because we are going to taste Waterford Lacken, which is one of their 2 peated Waterfords that they've made some time ago. But Waterford went into administration
Really?
quite some time ago. A year ago,
About
less than a year, about a
yes.
year ago. And recently, unfortunately, the receivers have been appointed. So it hasn't been resolved, and instead, actually, it is going to be closed, full stop.
Oh no.
Which is a shame because what they were making was pretty fun, very exciting. Mark Renier, who ex-Brook Laddie back in 2001 with some other mates, is the one that actually created Waterford back in 2015. He took the site of what used to be this old Guinness factory in Waterford, which is a lovely, beautiful town that is mostly famous for Waterford crystals. We went to see them actually a few years ago. Me and some friends, we were staying not far from there and spending some lovely family holidays in Ireland. And as I saw that I was 40 minutes away from them, I definitely made a point to go and visit them. Did an amazing tour at the distillery. Obviously ended up coming back with more bottles than I should have. Or maybe not enough, as it is the case now that there won't be any more coming out of it. And the differential there with Waterford is that they were doing literally 100% Irish whiskey. So it was Irish barley that was grown on different farms, and often you could actually buy, most of their cuvées were single farm releases. So you're buying a whiskey that the barley is grown in one particular farm. And this was part of Mark Renier's attempt to show that you can have terroir expression shown in whiskey, basically a sense of place, a whiskey that will taste of the land it comes from. So he had 20 plus farmers that he partnered across Ireland, and they were all single farm release bottlings, which were great, or most of them. This one, alongside, I forgot the name of the other one, sorry, were the first two peated expressions of Waterford that they've made, and it was peat from Ireland too. So Irish barley, Irish peat, Irish made bottles, everything Irish, which was pretty fun. And the whiskey is also pretty delicious, so get in there.
Yeah.
Get into your gob.
Oh, it smells fantastic.
Again, with the turn of weather, but being sunny, I thought it would be fun to get a bright yet peaty, lovely whiskey.
Oh, it does have that like classic Irish. Oh, for some reason, I don't know how to describe it, but there's like a distinct flavour in Irish whiskies that, to me, just reminds me of like really buttery porridge. But somehow lighter and crisper than that combination sounds.
Yeah. Generally speaking, Irish whiskey is triple distilled, and they use they do blends, so not pure malted barley, but often unmalted barley and sometimes other grains. They are the exception. They were doing single malt, so it is 2 distillations and 100% malted barley. But because it is very barley centric, you have this cereal heavy, so hence what he said, very buttery porridge. Plus, all Waterfords are bottled at 50%.
Okay.
So they have much more viscosity, much more mouthfeel, and they were very low and slow distillation as well, which creates a more viscous distillate.
Yeah.
Which is what gives that lovely buttery feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the peat is there, but it's more like not unlike here. If you're morning dew and someone is still just maybe lighting up a wood fire somewhere, so you can smell that there is a bit of burning wood nearby, but it's not necessarily crazy peat smoke on your face. Yeah. It's a very bright, very lovely.
It's like, lots of bright red fruits in the middle. It's kind of, again, it's almost a whiskey of two halves. You get that kind of nice sweetness.
Yeah, I didn't really notice the fruit when I first tried it, but you pointed out.
It's kind of, that brightness just shines through in the middle. It's lovely. It actually suits the meat amazingly well.
Yeah.
They're all fairly similar peat levels, if that makes any sense. The smokiness between the two is great.
One of the lovely fun things about it as well is that, unlike a lot of whiskey out there, they were, as is the case with Bruichladdich as well, they're extremely transparent of what goes in the bottle and what makes it. So you've got a little QR code, and you also have what they call the terroir code, which is a batch number. And if you type that in on the website, it will tell you exactly the make of it, and it says that this is being aged for, I don't know, call it 1,365 days. When was it harvested? When was it distilled? What is the barley varietal? What's the name of the farmers that have grown that barley? What is the cask mix that made the aging of it? And they'll tell you everything. It's pretty cool that they are very transparent, and you can be very transparent, especially if you trust on the quality of the liquid that you're bottling. And it was cool that they were doing it. Shame that, again, it's not going to be happening anymore, but I'm sure that Mark will be cooking up something exciting down the road. So
He always does.
He always does. He always does.
That's off to them.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Shame they're not going to be around much longer.
You think it was just too? I think it was just too whiskey nerdy. The concept's quite hard to get if you don't really, if you're not in the world.
Possibly. From my understanding, there was a chunky loan that was taken, I think a little bit or around after the first wave of COVID, and maybe they were expecting a return to whatever it was in terms of volumes and market forces and everything else, and maybe that hasn't panned out the same way. So playing with finances, things didn't work out the same way.
Bit of every
everything
that's fun.
Yeah.
We did a tasting with the Stroud Whiskey Club, and I think this was during COVID actually, or maybe it was just before COVID, and we had 4 of their bottles and all different farms, and it was meant to be fairly finished in fairly similar ways, and you could tell the difference between the farms. Two of them were quite similar, but there was one at one end and one at the other end that you could really taste the difference between. That's just literally where the barley was grown.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool to show that terroir thing.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, thank you for bringing this gigantic slab of brisket. You can go and leave it with us.
You're welcome to keep it, guys. Yeah, I do have to shoot off now.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you guys for gathering up for episode number 6. Thank you for joining us with Through the Smoke, episode 6. And cheers until the next one.
Yeah, until next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I see you through the smoke.